Mike Barrelack here to talk to you. This is just going to be video journal entry number 20. Just want to talk about some things. I was reminded today at church. My church is one of the churches that gets no government subsidies. Our financial efforts and projects are completely dependent on membership, fees and donations, and that most gets used to help help the community. But we get no, in the church I go to, we get no government subsidies like a lot of churches do. It reminded of a joke from the Lawnmower Man movie. The concept of dirty money went out when the Catholic Church got into banking. I still got to do a video about that movie. That's the only movie. Well, okay, it's that and maybe the show Prophet. Those are the only stories that I actually root for the character that I guess kind of is the bad guy in the story. So things are potentially going to get better and better now that our RFK is in charge of having more of an influence on the decision making of the FDA. Yeah, it's awesome, man. With Trump, not only are we getting Trump, we're getting Vance, JD Vance. We're getting 12C Gabbard. We're getting that Swami guy. We need him for the young people. We're getting Elon Musk. We're getting RFK. We're not just getting Trump in this victory. We're getting a lot of good people. Tell you who we're not getting, though. We're not getting Nikki Haley or Mike Pompeo. Nikki Haley, her true colors started showing a while back. She's a game player when it comes to the establishment. She's willing to continue to play the establishment game. So Mike Pompeo, I don't agree 100% with not giving him a place on the cabinet, but I trust Trump's decisions. He must have a decision for not picking Mike Pompeo. My understanding is he is going for a whole completely new cabinet. So that makes sense. Back to the subject matter of health. I learned something interesting in my visit with my mom. That apparently ear doctors have told her ear canals are too small, and that she's got to get a surgery so they can fix that. Reminds me of something that I went through years ago. I had ear doctors look in my ears in awe because apparently my canals are not shaped, are not straight. They're like slanted or there's like a corner. Anyways, yeah, I also had years ago had a doctor tell me that I was going to have chronic ear infections unless I let him cut my ear open it up like a hood of a car, and go in there and scrape some skin off of the bone. That was 19 years ago. I haven't had chronic ear infections in all that time. You know why? Because Dr. Michael Perelak, came up with the solution. A solution that solved the problem. I don't have ear infections, chronic ear infections. I don't, and I can hear better, even though my hearing is not 100% in one ear, I think it's because of something my father did when I was a kid. But anyways, that's beside the point, my abusive father. But anyways, my hearing will never be 100% in this ear anyways. But what I do is I just take a little bit of hydrocortisone and a Q-tip and go in the ear canal and scratch that little itch. And every time I do it, I think to myself, God, if I knew about this when I was a child, I would have did better in school. How the hell do you expect a child to focus when they got a constant itch inside their ear? Anyways, yeah, that was almost 20 years ago. A doctor said that to me. You're going to have chronic. He was a young doctor too, and I think I talked about this on my channel before. I have thousands of videos now. He was a young doctor, and he was looking for the credit. That's what these doctors want. They want the credit under their belt for the operation. Well, I'm not going to be some wet behind the ears doctor's guinea pig. And I learned recently, neither was my mother willing to be one. So they're knife happy. Hey, get a surgery, yeah, surgery. But the solution that Dr. Mike Perlack, came up with, and a doctor for myself anyways, doesn't involve giving money to the medical profession or the FDA, so that's why. Never met a guy so eager to cut my head open as that day years ago. I remember it. He said, I remember he said, yeah, I think you'll benefit from the operation. You'll probably lose some hearing, but what the fluck is the point? Now, what I do now, because of the way the eardrum naturally functions with pushing out earwax, when I do that with the hydrocortisone and the Q-tip, it opens up the canal that for a time I actually hear air blowing out that ear because my ear can function now because I've cleared the passageway. But this is not, the doctor's not going to tell you this. They just want you to get a surgery. Okay, there's just one more thing I wanted to touch bases on. Old habits die hard. Before I lived in this beautiful palace I have all to myself now, I was living in a dump that had no running water for the 17 years I lived there. The first couple of years it didn't have any running water or heat, and for the last 5 or so years it didn't have running water or a reliable heat source. Kept having to relight the pilot light every time I turned around on that 50-year-old fucking furnace. Anyways, old habits die hard. So I got into a rut. This is why I jogged 4 miles, because I wanted to get the most of my exercise. I just realized something recently, this past week, with my vacation from work and everything. I have a beautiful home now. I have a shower. I could get up in the morning, go out for a short 20-minute run. I could do that, and it doesn't matter if I'm sweating. I got a nice, I come home, jump in the shower, and I have that option. Like, 17 years is a long time to live in a dump like that, but it was only the first few years of the last 5 years or so that it actually didn't have running water or heat. It really wasn't a big deal because during that time my life was basically about making money and spending money. Where now it's about making money and saving money, basically, because I have everything I need now. But anyways, that's why I would jog 4 miles, and my jogs would be so epic. Man, I loved it though, man. When I used to work second shift, man, I'd come home and it'd be like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'd go out for an epic jog in the middle of the night. God, that's when I felt the closest to God. Had my CDs, my music, jogging to either Genesis or Phil Collins or whatever, various stuff. I have so many things, but I felt really at one at peace with myself, with the world, and closest to God. I will still jog when I have the time, the 4 mile jog, but this every day, first thing in the morning, not a bad idea. Good thing, in the community I live, they do keep the roads pretty clear. The only time I absolutely will not be able to do this is when there's snow and ice in the ground. And that's only because it's not worth the risk. And for that, I have a skier behind my dresser in my bedroom. I found it at the Goodwill years ago. I think I paid like $7 for it. Anyways, it's one of those things, those skier things. Still not as good as jogging or riding my bike, but when there's snow and ice on the ground, it'll do substitute. Mike Paralak, good night. Back to work. My vacation's over.